Hello. Today, let's talk about the 12 houses. Like the last time we talked about the 12 signs. Today, let's talk about the 12 houses in the birth chart or in astrology. Okay. Um so if you watched the last video, not like the recent last, but the one that I made about signs, or if you already know about signs or astrology, I explained like how they can be seen as like a journey, and you can have the same perspective with houses as well, which I'll try to explain as we go on with the normal significances as well. And just a disclaimer, just as a disclaimer that I usually know more about Vedic astrology than tropical, but because houses and signs, these significances are same in both of them, I'm just going to do it, so you shouldn't be confused. But just know that the information that I'm giving you comes from both tropical and Vedic astrology sources, YouTube channels that I watch, and books and stuff, and Patreon. Anyways, so there's the first house. There are 12 houses, of course. There's the first house, which connects with the first sign, Aries. And the first house is also called your rising. And it's basically you as a person, like that's you. That's you in your chart. Like if second house is this and the ninth house is that and the seventh house is something else, the first house is you. It's also your head, your face, your body, like your whole existence. That's first house. That's your rising sign. And that's pretty much it. If um like if you have, like, you can see what kind of a person you are, how you like to keep your body, how you like to keep your hair and head, how you like to present yourself in this world through your first house. That's basically, you can check your avatar. What the fuck is wrong with my accent today? You can check your, those avatars, which in Hindi is avatar. So yeah, I'm very super sleep deprived, but I just still want to do it. But anyways, so that's first house. That's basically your memoji. That's you. So that, like, you can find out about somebody's physical appearance, their body, their personality, that person as a whole through the first house, through the sign that is in the first house, the planet that is in the first house, if and aspects and so many things. So that's the first house. Then there's the second house, which connects with the second sign of Taurus. So in first house, the person was born. That's why the nakshatra and the sign, they're both fire sign, because fire is like creation of something. And it's the birth of something. That's why that's where you are born. Then the second house, which relates to Taurus, is your attitude with money, and anything that is valuable to you. So, of course, for most of us, money is going to be valuable. So, it's your money house, it's your accumulated wealth, it's also what you inherit from your family, from your parents. It could be genetics in some cases, but mostly money. It's also your face, it is your face as well, and your voice, because that's something you get from your family, from your parents. So that's the second house. That's when, after you are born, you have this face and you have this voice, and you have things that are value to you, that are of value to you. That is basically food, the milk. So that's the second house. Um, so if you want to check somebody's accumulated wealth, their attitude towards money and wealth and possessions and valuables, and what they inherited, what they're going to inherit, and their face and their voice, you can look at the second house. Then the third house is where the person starts to recognize people and starts needing people. Third house is where we start to have a consciousness. That's when we know that, okay, this is my mm, mother, this is this person who feeds me, this is this person who plays with me and stuff. So that's where we start to recognize things. That's when we start to understand things. And this house is for your friends because it connects with Gemini. So it's your close circles, friend groups, your siblings, but especially younger siblings. It's your interests. Now, hobbies and interests both, but especially interests, because for me personally, hobbies kind of also becomes the fifth house, which we will come to soon. But interests, more than hobby, because I love reading tarot cards and I love taxidermy, but I'm only able to have tarot card reading as a hobby. But taxidermy is still my interest, even though it's not a hobby that I'm doing. So, what is more third housey here? Tarot cards. So, your interests, anything that you learn for fun, so like hobby, but your friend groups, your younger siblings. It's also supposed to be like this area, your throat and your larynx. It's also, um, yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. I'm just giving you like a basic introduction, and I know my face looks like I'm very uninterested, but I'm very interested, please. I'm just like super deep sleep deprived. And yes, I know I could make it when I'm not sleep deprived, but I just know that's not gonna happen. So let's do it when it's happening, when my body is able to do it, because I have mood dysregulation, and ADD, and a lot of other things. It's a whole list. But anyways, let's move on to the fourth house, which connects to the Cancer sign and the moon. It's when the person starts, like, because they're conscious now in the third house, the person starts recognizing their comfort zones. They start recognizing places, like, this is my house, this is the park that my parents take me to, this is the bathroom, this is my pram, You know, those little trolley seat things, those wheelchairs, but for kids, you know. So it's that. And because it's ruled by Cancer and the moon, it's connected to your mother, your parents, your comfort zone, your like the place in your mind or in this world where you feel at home, where you feel super comfortable, where you feel super safe, super secure. So that's the fourth house. And it's also the actual places, like your actual house, like so buildings and properties. That's fourth house. And also vehicles like your car and stuff. That's the fourth house. And by the way, coming back to the third house for a second, short distance traveling, short changes in your life, and short efforts in your life, they're also third house. Now let's come back to the fourth house. Okay, so mother, comfort, house, security, both mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, all kind, where you feel really happy. It's properties, your vehicles, mother, because moon, Cancer. So that's the fourth house. Then we go on to the fifth house where we learn to play. That's when we start perceiving the world even better. We start perceiving, okay, so these are my friends and these are my siblings, and this is my father, this is my mother, this is my father's friend, and everything. And we start to learn, and then we start to relate to the world. And that's when the baby learns about playtime. Like, yay, playtime. Baby has a playtime. Baby has these toys they can play with, you know. And it's also the house for the of a house of education. So not like university, but maybe school and college and hobbies, especially hobbies that make us feel amazing. And it's also our romance in life, because like just like hobbies, they make us feel amazing, you know. It's like being in love with your life. So whatever you have in your fifth house, you are going to love that significance or area of your life. For example, if it's in Aries or there's Mars there, that means your hobbies could be like sports or property dealing or fighting, debating, things like that. Maybe your education is going to be in these areas. Maybe your romantic partners are going to be very Martian, very passionate, very action oriented. So that's fifth house. This fifth house is also really good for occult stuff because education, and it's also really good for rituals and spells and mantra, things like that. So it's really like if you have a lot of occult coded planets here, that means you might be one of those people who are really interested in occult. Then comes the sixth house, which connects with the sixth sign, Virgo, and also Mercury. So in the fifth house, the child was like, okay, let's play, let's connect with the people around us. But in sixth house, the baby is now going to learn how to make a routine, because the sixth house is the house of routine, daily life, daily chores, daily efforts, everything that we do daily to make sure something stays that way. It's like brushing our teeth. So, like the baby's learning how to brush their teeth, how to have bath time, how to read, and everything. Just like everything that keeps you healthy, basically. So, that's sixth house. It's also the house of your enemies, because I don't know who exactly said it, but one of my teachers, and when I say teachers, people I watch on the internet, um, they said that it could be like, why is it daily routines and also enemies? Maybe because it's the things you do daily to keep your problems at bay. It's also the house of disease. So keep your enemies and problems and hardships and diseases at bay. So like brushing your teeth, it's going to keep your teeth healthy. So self-explanatory, things like that. Exercising every day. Like you cannot just exercise for 24 hours and then not exercise the whole month. It's not really going to benefit you. You have to do it every day. So things like that. That is the sixth house, where the person learns to make habits. Before we made hobbies, now we're making habits. So then comes the seventh house. It's when we learn to adjust. It's the house of relationships. It's the house of your significant other. It's the house of trading. It's the house of um, mediating. Is that a word? Mediating between other people. It's connected with the seventh sign, Libra, and also Venus. So that's why relationships are really important in this house. Your spouses can be seen through this house. Your major relationships can be seen through this house. Your contractual relationships, like between the employee and the employee, employer and the employee, um, between like marriage, because it's like a contract. So all the contractual relationships, that's your seventh house. And it's also said to be the hips. Like every house has been given a body part. I don't remember all of them, so you can look it up yourself. But the seventh, oh, by the way, do you like my sweater? It's so cute. So cute. Okay. Um, it's your hips. And why hips? I have my own theory, and I'm not saying like that's the only reason. There could be like, oh, I don't know, girl, astrology is super vast. Anything could be true and everything could be wrong. So, but hips, these are like the little cushions we sit on so that we can be comfortable. So, this house is for the people we can rely on. We can sit on these people to be comfortable, not in a sadistic way or in a narcissistic way, but maybe in a narcissistic way too if you have those placements. But yeah, people you can rely on, people that rely on you, things like that. Because Libra, trading, adjusting, mediating, being diplomatic, human connection, and then it's ruled by Venus. So, romantic human connections, relationships. It doesn't have to be romantic, but it's especially for romantic relationships. Then comes the eighth house, everybody's favorite house. So in sixth house, we were creating routines, we were learning, we were making habits. In the seventh house, we were making relationships, we were maintaining relationships. And in the eighth house, I think we go through a breakup because it connects with Scorpio and Mars. So, la 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 la, la 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 la. Okay, okay. Eighth house. Uh, People call it the house of death, but not like actual death, but what death represents. That's why other most people call it the house of transformation. And I think it's because when you were making adjustments and being diplomatic and being in relationships, when it doesn't turn out the way you want, you go through a breakup. And breakups are an end of something, a death of something, which also makes you grow as a person, makes you realize a lot of things that you did wrong or that your partner was doing wrong in your relationship. So it's very transformative. That's why the eighth house is very transformative. Also, it's the house of death for the same reason. Now, some of my favorite YouTubers were like, no, it should not be called the house of death because, like, according to the cardinal directional rules, the sun doesn't even set there. But it's still there, I think, you know? So let's just move on. Sorry, eighth house is also where we might have the most transformations in our life. And that's why this house also represents the good, but mostly the bad and the ugly. Like, okay, we went through self-esteem issues which transformed us, which is a good thing, but the self-esteem issues, those memories, they're a bad thing. So the house of dark things, death, transformation, occult, because it's like a very dark coded house, and Scorpios and Mars's house. So it is again going to be really good for you can see your occult potential and your psychic potential, your magical potential through this, and also research potential. Yeah, I was going to say something else. Give me a second. Never mind. So that was the eighth house. Now let's move to the ninth house. By the way, I'm really sorry if I did not like put those bookmarks, or I don't know what they're called, like go to this minute if you want to listen to this third house or the second house or the fifth house. If I didn't do it, like I will try to do it, but if I didn't, forgive me. I'm just a girl. Okay. My butt hurts from sitting too much. Okay. So the ninth house. So the eighth house gave us heartache, death, and transformation and self growth. And what happens once you go through a transformation? You stereotypically find a purpose. You want to be a part of something that's bigger than you. That's why the ninth house is the house of higher education, higher pursuits, spirituality, philosophy, but more importantly than philosophy and spirituality, religion. It's the house of religion. It's the house of higher studies, higher pursuits. It's the house, to quote one of my favorite astrology YouTubers or astrologers who are on YouTube, KRS, to quote KRS, Kapil Raj, this is the house where you talk to God. He said ninth house is the house where you talk to God, and 12th house is the house where God talks back or God talks to you. So, which was like very amazing to hear on YouTube. Like, I agree. So that's ninth house. And people, because ninth house, ninth sign, Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, it can also be seen, your father and your grandfather and your forefathers can also be seen through this house. Your teachers can also be seen in this house. And of course, higher studies. And when I say higher studies, it's not just PhD and masters, but it's also, like you're old and then you're like, oh, I want to be into this spiritual life or religion, because they're both like higher pursuits for humans or humankind, or at least they think so. So that's why teaching can be seen through this house as well. It can be seen through a lot of other things, but it's one of the most important places to see that. Now, okay, we're done with college, we're done with heartbreaks, we're done with master's degree and a PhD and everything, a doctorate, whatever. What do we do then? It's when we enter the 10th house, the house of career, the house of your society, social responsibility. It's when you had your higher purpose, you had your calling, you had your higher education, you have a PhD now. What do you do then? Well, you get a job. You do something about it, like you learned all that you could. Now, what? Let's apply whatever we learned on the real world, which is getting a job. So that's when you get a job. That's why it's the house of career. It's you can see your colleagues and your work life. It, through this house, it also used to be called the house of war, because maybe in the old times most people's jobs were war, sadly. I mean, it still is, but in a more nuanced way. But like for warriors and soldiers, that was their work. Or even for a normal person, that's where you have to go out, step into the world, and take on a challenge. So that's why 10th house is the house of career, but also war. It's also the fame that you get. You can check somebody's fame through this house, because most people get it through career. Unless you're Nepo baby, then you might want to check your second house, probably, among other things. So that's your 10th house. It's where you have to work, because connecting to the 10th sign, Capricorn, controlled by Saturn. Saturn and Capricorn, they're both very work. You better work, bitch. So that's the 10th house. Then we come to the 11th house. Okay, so in 11th house is the house of our income, charity, donation, but also our social life, our social connections. It's when in the 10th house we did the job, we accumulated the money, which we can see in the second house. So in the 10th house, we accumulated the money, we worked. Now, what to do now? It's where we when that's when we go to the 11th house and try to give back to society, try to be more social and be charitable and donate. But that's also like 11th house can also be used to check fame, because social networks, fan followings, all of these things are 11th house, and everything connects to everything. I don't know if it connects for you, but it does for me, but I just don't know how to explain it. So yeah. Yeah, so you're like an old person in the 11th house, and you're like, okay, I want to retire and I want to give back to the world, or maybe take from the world. It's about social networks, because 11th sign Aquarius, so they want to do something to impact the society, give back to the society, or maybe take something from the society, do something useful, but also revolutionary, something new, not something super conventional like the 10th house. Your side businesses and your side, yeah, mostly side businesses can also be seen by this house. Then comes the last house. It's when you are like, you were retired in the 11th house probably, or maybe you were thinking of it, and you gave back the money to the society, to the people. I believe that the children are our future. Okay, so you give back to the society. Now what? Now you literally don't have anything to do, and you're growing even older. So I think that's the real house of death, because that's the last house. That's where you die. It's also the house of sleep, because death is the ultimate sleep, probably. House of dreams, it connects to the Pisces sign, so which connects to Jupiter. So spirituality, philosophy, even psychology, in my opinion. It's where God answers you back. So in the ninth house, we were pursuing this, but in the 12th house, we got it. This, the spiritual, whatever we wanted from the spiritual world. It's with it's about connecting to nature, connecting with the universe, connecting back or mixing back with the universe. It's also because like it's where you get super old. It's like old age houses, and because it's the last house, it's like the furthest from all the houses. It represents all the things that are further, or like farthest from most things in life, something that is very much far from society. It's also prisons, because they're very far from society. Prisons, asylums, rehabs, faraway lands, imaginary lands, isolation, solitude, monkhood, those little caves mystical monks live in and meditate for eons. All those things. It's also the house of your subconscious. It's also because Pisces, ocean, subconscious, water. So, yeah, subconscious mind, the vast ocean that our subconsciousnesses can be. That's why it's a very mysterious house, in my opinion, more than the eighth house, because it's like it's unfathomable. So it's also the house of your losses. So if you have, like, let's say Venus here, maybe Venus is money and luxury. Maybe you just like love spending a lot, or maybe you love spending on your lovers, or maybe you have so much love to give to your lovers that you cannot control it. It's just like death and life, they're always connected anyway. And here it shows, because it's like, it also says that, like, archetypically, it's the house where something dies, something ends, something comes to to a completion. But it's also where you are dying, but then your soul is meeting the vast cosmic universe, spiritualness, nirvana, moksha, and everything. So you're becoming one with the world. You're mixing into the nature or the ocean. So coming back, sorry, like, without too much digressing, even though it says the end of something, the losing of something, the losses, the death, but it also tells you that this is where you have an abundance of this thing, whatever your sign or planets are there. So, like, because Venus, let's just take Venus. So, for like, if Venus is there, what I said, maybe you love spending a lot on luxury, whatever luxury is to you. And maybe you love spending on your loved ones, or maybe you have a lot of love to give to your loved ones, or maybe you require a lot of love from your loved ones and your partners and your friends, whoever you're super close with. But maybe that's also where, and like, maybe you get love late in your life, because that's like the last house. Maybe you get love late in your life, but it also tells you that there's an abundance of it. So you might have a lot of love to give, and you might have a lot of money, because that's why are you spending so much money, because you had it in the first place. So, you know, it just like goes hand in hand. What goes around comes around, which again goes back to the Pisces sign, two fishes chasing each other. It's just like Wheel of Fortune, the tarot card, just like, it's just life. Wheel of Time, the show. It's very inclusive, which is great. I just finished it. So these are the 12 houses. I hope I did not miss a lot of important information. I'm pretty sure I missed some of it, because there's so much. Like, I know a lot, and then the information that exists is like bajillion times more than what I know. So you can understand. It's a vast thing. Nobody knows its origin, probably, astrology. So it's like there's a lot. There's a lot of different techniques. Everything is a lot, but it's super fun. It's super confusing, but it's also super clarifying. So that's it. I hope you liked it. I hope you were able to tolerate my resting bitch face. Don't forget to drink water and use your lip balm if you have it, if you like them, if you can find it. And see you guys next time.